Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi Wilhelm.
Aleichem HaShalom.
I wanted to share with you something that happened to me on Rosh Hashanah. Maybe you'll appreciate it. I was davening in the front row of the second to front row in the shul, and there was a passageway between me and the first row where people were going back and forth, and one of the individuals that were in front of me, he had his child with him, and his jacket was on the chair, and the father kind of went away, and the child also went away, and the jacket fell on the floor. Now there are other people that basically walked past back and forth, and they saw the jacket, but they never really picked it up. But then, a couple of minutes later, and I wasn't able to come in to pick it up myself, but the father came like a minute after, and he picked it up himself, and he put it on the chair. It's a beautiful jacket, really nice. And it just occurred to me, like, why was it that he picked up the jacket and the other people did not pick up the jacket, even though they noticed it? Because it was his jacket, it belonged to him. So I was thinking, as we're davening, Rosh Hashanah davening, that the Eibishter, that we're Hashem, we belong to Hashem, where He's our Father, that we belong to the Eibishter. So we're in this Kivyachol fallen state, and if He doesn't pick us up, who's going to pick us up? And then I was marinating with that idea, and I was thinking to myself also, like, we're, so to speak, in that position also with our children, with family members, with friends, that if we don't pick them up, who's going to pick them up? That's our job, to pick them up.
Very good, very good. Just to build on your thought, even when things don't look so bleak, don't look so nice, they're a little bleak and hurtful, you always have to remember, if you see your son crossing the street in a dangerous way, you're going to rebuke him, you're going to warn him. If you see somebody else walking across the street, you're not going to, because you don't think it's your business. So in Svarim it says that the same is when you see the Eibishter sends a message to somebody, a reminder, that's because he loves you. If he wasn't close to you, he wouldn't, he wouldn't care about it. It's Kiyas Hashayav Hashem Yechiach. Anyways, your thought is a very good thought, because it's definitely connected to the Aseret Simei Tshuva, because the Arizal says Aseret Simei Tshuva is mamish like Chalamoid, so much so that it's brought in Svarim. If it's Chalamoid, we know there's halachas. Imagine you're rushing to work now. Imagine Chalamoid, you don't go to work. So today, the whole Aseret Simei Tshuva is going to be 3 days. You would sit in shul and steig and learn and daven. Yeah, but the pile, it's the Chalamoid. Now, what's so special about these Aseret Simei Tshuva? The pasuk says, "Dirshu Hashem b'yimatzei k'ra'u b'yosei karev." So I saw a mashal, that's a famous mashal that's brought to describe the situation, the time that we're in. There was a big machnas eirach, and he invited a lot of guests, and his family got used to it. But even his children, when a sloppy person came in and dirty person came in, they stayed away. They take care of himself. So the father wasn't happy. The father had to find a way that the children also, to the father, every time a sloppy person came in, he would say to his children, "Oh, this is my cousin. This is my relative. Oh, it's a relative. You got to take care of it." So this is what that the Eibush is telling us. This time of Aseret Simei Tshuva, Dirshu Hashem b'yimatzei b'yosei karev. Today we're relatives, and relatives accept each other even when a little sloppy, a little messy. We're able to get closer and closer during this period of time. And actually, I saw that the Tzaddikim also interpret this on the pasuk when the Eibush took us out of Mitzrayim. It says that the Eibush didn't want the Jews to go through a Plishtim kikarevu, because a relative you treat different. A relative you treat with silk gloves. You care for the relative more. And this is what our motivation to become better during Aseret Simei Tshuva. We feel so much closer to the Eibush. It's in the air, and we just have to arouse that feeling amongst us. I just want to finish off with one small thought. You took up most of the time, so I'll just this thought I'm living with a lot. It could be I said this before. What is it that Yom Kippur? From one hand, it's a very scary day, and from the other end, you see that we have a lot of nigunim during davening. What's this nigunim during? I say this already. So there's a famous word that the Belzer Rebbe once said that even the janitor, when he sweeps and mops, he's whistling. He's all excited. So we're sweeping and mopping, and we're whistling, we're singing. But I saw a beautiful pshat. I saw a beautiful mashal. There was this prince that he wasn't all the way there. So his father sent him off to a home. Imagine a home that had one of the patients, a prince. They got paid very well. They got taken care of very well. Okay, after a long time, the prince became better, and he wanted to go back home. He's sending a letter to his father, the king, but the head of the hospital, every time the kid sent a letter saying, "I'm ready to come home," ripped it up. He didn't want to let the kid go back home. He needed the parnasa. So after a couple of letters the prince is writing, he realized it's not, obviously the father's not getting the message. So he figured out a trick. What did he do? He wrote a letter like he used to write, with scribble, scrabble, pictures, and things that don't make sense. But in between all the letters, in between all the pictures, he wrote some codes that his father will know that, and only a father could relate to that message. And he did that. So the head of the hospital looked at it. Yeah, this what's kitchen design. This is a scribble scrabble. She sends it off to the father. The king opens it up. Originally he looks. At the beginning he looks as if it's the kid needs still help. But then he sees the codes. He realizes the kid is calling for help. And the nimshal is the Satan is coming with bags and bags and bags. Rachmana litzlan, the Satan does his job. He's but we confuse the Satan. The Satan sees us singing and dancing. What's with the Yom Adin? So the Satan says, these guys are crazy. He doesn't show up with all that energy. And when the Satan doesn't show up with energy, we come with the code words. And we speak to the Eibishter from our heart, and the Eibishter knows what we, as a father, listens to our son. I just want to, Rav Levi Yitzchak Mibaditchev once said the most powerful thing. He says, Eibishter, you asked the Yidden thousands of years ago, you made a mitzvah for the Yidden to blow shofar. You said it once, and since then, we're blowing and blowing tekiyas and teruas and tekiyas for thousands of years. Hundreds of thousands of millions of Yidden are blowing. And we asked you million times, blow one shofar. Tkar b'shofar gadol l'cheiruseinu. Can't you pay us back? We ask you many times. We're waiting for that one sound of shofar. Tkar b'shofar gadol l'cheiruseinu. Let it be very now, very soon.
Amen.
Very now makes sense, huh?
Very now indeed. Mashiach now.